All right, so let's start the show. There's some people here. There's our 11 viewers, 14 viewers. It's growing. Hey, welcome to the Bidness. This is episode number six. And we've got some this is a very special episode for me. Some real fun people, some real legends in the house. Let's start with Parker Jacobs. Parker Jacobs of Go-Go 13, the singer of Go-Go 13, and also a fantastic artist. You may recognize his artwork with the Aquabats, with previously of Paul Frank, I believe. Some other great sources. He's got his own thing he calls Goon Holler, which is an opportunity for you to check out some of his artwork before it gets gobbled up by some big Disney conglomerate. Yeah, absolutely. And feel free to just flash us with like crazy artwork or scribble something while we're talking. There you go. Brody in there. He's also the guy for Yo Gabba Gabba. Yeah, he designs all the monsters and everything. Next in line, we got Greg Lee from Hepcat, and he is here to give some wisdom of some ska and reggae wisdom to us, and share some stories. Next in line, we got one of our local San Jose legendary bass players. We have Alex Garcia of the Champions saying hi, what's up, and holding down the low end in San Jose. And then, as usual, my cohort here, my co-host today is Bosco. He is a local DJ and a reggae historian, and just an all-around cool guy. So say hi, everybody. Hey. Hi, everybody. So I'm really honored to have you guys all on. It really says a lot that the ska community as a whole wants to kind of stick together, even if there's not ska to be played in front of an audience. So this is an opportunity for us all to kind of go over what we've done this year during the lockdown and what we're intending to do when the lockdown is lifted, and how we're intending to make the scene bigger and support other bands and just hit the world with a wall of skas, because that's what I think the world needs. That we've had a lot of darkness, and we need some bright, antagonizing, upbeat music. So so let's start with Greg. Greg, what have you done this year? Any recording, any craziness that you've done this year that you want to talk about?
Well, since the year began, I've been doing a lot of sleeping. I figure the more I sleep, the more I can help the world at large.
Yeah.
Plus, and then I do what I call my second sleep.
Ooh.
That's when you wake up at 8 and go back to sleep.
Very good.
Now, all jokes aside, been doing some projects here and there. Most notably is one I've been doing with John Roy and Andrew Bauer. You might know these cats. Doing some here in the recordings with a guy named Andres Carter from Argentina.
Oh, nice.
And, yeah. A band from the Basque region of Spain that I'm meant to work on tonight. Just projects like that. Hepcat is pretty much taken like a nap. So
no. You guys did two videos, right? You guys did
recently.
Like
yeah.
Oh, 9 months ago.
12 months. It's recent. It's recent music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me, we've all been asleep for those second and third naps. So just getting the word out is good.
Hepcat has a bunch of material. Like I personally have been saying for a long time. It's just a matter of motivating those guys to get out and do it. You know,
nice.
That's the whole point. You know, we have COVID, yes, but there are other means for us to collaborate and keep the momentum going. Hopefully, we'll get to
sweet. Parker, what's been keeping you active during the coronavirus?
During the coronavirus, well, I think, well, last year, we're talking about 2020, right, is the week before the pandemic hit was a collaboration with that guy right there, Greg. And we were able to...
That feels like 2 years ago.
You need to do the Pick It Up Part 2, right? Pick Up Your Room.
Oh, yeah.
Part 2.
Oh yeah, we got to bring that. We got to bring that one back for Yo Gabba Gabba.
Absolutely, all the parents love it.
We're looking forward to that. But no, you had mentioned previously Goon Holler, the children's books that was supposed to be a show spin-off and all that thing.
Shoot up fish.
Right. Yes. So we did this song. Well, okay. Okay, so we did this graphic novel that is supposed to have come out already. If you look it up on Facebook or whatever on Amazon, it says it came out in December, but it hasn't come out yet. So I still have a meeting with my publisher. But it's a graphic novel, 120-page graphic novel that they had me write, and they go, okay, this has to we do graphic albums, so it comes with a soundtrack. Well, that's great for me. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, awesome. I love music, and all of my books that I've done, I've always had a musical element to it. But actually, it's kind of hard to write. It's like, imagine writing a movie, but you draw every piece of the movie, and then you're writing a musical. You're writing all the songs too. Kind of a really complicated thing. So it's called Tubal Off of Goon Holler, a 120-page graphic novel, long-form comic book, and they wanted to have 6 songs in it. And I made it so that it could have a 7-inch slide in the back of it. We made the song short, and I don't even know, because my publisher doesn't talk to me. It's probably coming with a CD or something. But yes, we had this opportunity to have, it's a hillbilly story. But my true love is the ska and the reggae, and letting the experts do it, right? so my favorite obviously is Hepcat, and Greg was so gracious to be a part of this. It was the week before COVID hit, like a week before the shutdown. I had them in the studio, and they're doing this thing called the fish dance, which was like a fish. That's basically it. That's
a fish dance.
Don't read too much into it. It's a fish dancing, right? I mean, we're at that point.
Parker, do you have it to play?
I can't play right now. I have to get it to launch. Like I have to.
Okay.
I
probably got to be legalized.
I'm playing for you guys though. But it's so great. It's so great. It'll come out this month, supposedly, in theory. And Alex was doing his whole toasting thing, and his whole like Leroy kind of you know that. So, and when the guy who wrote the song, Matt Gorney, who's worked with us on Yo Gabba Gabba and the Aquabat, so he brought it. It was a total Hepcat knockoff, like straight up. Like there was no doubt this guy was doing a Hepcat knockoff. And
that's an homage, not a knockoff. Homage.
Paying homage. Now that's what we say, right?
I can imagine you guys listen to it. You're like, who are we gonna have to do this song?
No, I like this song. It's a Hepcat knockoff. Let's legitimize it by getting Hepcat to do it.
And that's hello, my career. That's it right there. Pick it up for Yo Gabba Gabba. It was so.
What's funny is when you first said I'm doing a graphic novel this year, the first thing that popped in my head was The Walking Dead, and then I thought of how The Walking Dead would look like if you were doing the artwork for it.
Really cute.
Monkeys and
There'd be like
rude boys hacking each other to pieces. It would be great.
Yeah.
Snapping braces.
Nice. Hey, speaking of hacking to pieces, hey, Alex, what have you been doing for the COVID lockdown, the corona pandemic?
Busting my ass working, but yeah. Other than that, music wise, I've just been doing a lot of studying at home. I've been doing an academy online. You know, bass players are always trying to learn shit, you know. So, but a couple of times I got together with Big Russ, and pretty recently, Randy came through, and then Big Russ called me, "Hey, get over here, let's jam." And we went and jammed. You remember Elias? Yeah, we just did some stuff over at Nick's new studio.
Nice.
So he just finished it up. It's over at his dad's or his family's shop over there off of 13th and Martha. And so, you know, next time he calls us, I'll have to give you a call.
I can imagine
get together and
like just deep, just WW reggae. Like,
oh yeah,
real slow, real jamming, real.
Yeah,
like, especially and Russ in there, man. Those guys are like.
Definitely give me a call. I'll show up with a mask and, you know,
there you go,
goggles, whatever I have to wear.
Yeah, so it's just kind of, you know, spur of the moment thing. Hey, get over here. So all right, you know, show up. But yeah, that's about it. You know, I talk to Steph every once in a while, and she kind of wanted to do something, but you know, she's busy.
Hey, tell Steph hi from Greg.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, and she usually pings me every couple of weeks. I don't know if anybody else knows, but she had gotten COVID, so she was locked up for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, and we were supposed to do something during that time too. She was supposed to come down, and you know, but that never happened. So we're all just locked up now.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think I look at this time as being a time to come up with new ideas and new formats and new structures, whatever you want to do with your life. And I think that it was really cool that I'm not going to put it all on my shoulders. I'd say it's actually Facebook for putting in the chat room live button, because as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I know that. I can use that. We get everybody talking and we make stuff happen, and that's what we're here for.
We were talking about that beginning of summer, beginning of COVID. Curtis would come over to my house and we would sit in the front yard 6 feet away from each other and drink beer and listen to music, and then we're like, we got to do a podcast. Nothing but like bring people on to talk about stuff, and that's about as vague as it got. And now, what, 6 episodes later, this is what's going on. So it's really, really cool. And it's neat to see you guys on here.
Yeah.
I'm super over the moon with all this, with just being able to talk about this kind of stuff again, because it's really a part of my life, and it's been a part of my life since I went to Cal Poly and did a ska show and started kind of being part of the whole scooters and skas and music and people and culture. And, you know, it's taken me all over the world, which is great. And Curtis lives 2 blocks away, so this makes things super easy.
And there's a great barbecue place right between us. So next time you come to my house,
hit us up, and then we will take you to the barbecue places for sure.
I like that.
Amazing.
What's that, Smoking Pig?
No. This is mesquite and oak.
Mesquite
Oh,
oak.
yeah.
So all 3
That's good.
local?
Yeah.
You guys are all San Jose?
Downtown.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. So I was trying to figure out Martha and
Yeah.
Palki. What in God's name?
Yeah, no, to preface that, because we started doing references and stuff, and it's like when Alex was talking about Big Russ. I don't know if you know Big Russ, but for people that are watching, you know, he's a reggae historian, old school reggae. He loves like keyboards and like Hammond and that deep Hammond sound, that real dubby, real echoey, real nice dance hall, you know, just pounding the floor when you're dancing kind of sound. I love that too, and that he's way into that. So he's a local here in San Jose too, so it's awesome.
Yeah. No, he's fun.
What's going on with Monkey these days?
Well, you know, we crushed about 4 or 5 new songs, put them on recording. We haven't put them out because we're not sure if we're going to make an album or an EP out of it. But we basically, when the world was during the early COVID thing, everyone was doing the whole like, I can't do anything, I can't go anywhere, and we were like, dude, just just do it. Just do it. Just wear the mask, go home, call your friends, like just do it. And then the whole world, more of that. And then all this music came out, and the music was like, I miss my friend. My friend, I miss so much. Like tears on the guitar. And people were asking me if I wanted to play on live, and I was like, I don't really do the tears and friend thing. I love all my friends, and I will see them again. So
but you know, it's cool because everybody's getting out. They're getting
exactly.
They're getting all that stuff out.
Get it out. Refresh yourself. So we started writing songs about the pandemic and about the riots and about the this and about the that, all the crazy stuff about the politics, everything. But we wrote it from the slant of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And so we've got a small chunk of songs, and we're like, do we make this a Hitchhiker's EP? Or do we make this into a full album, full production album? So, which if it either or, I might be talking to Parker, because Parker's done the last like million album covers for us. So start thinking of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Think of.
I love it, man. I'll get all Zaphod in that breathable box. You know, I be all over that. I like message though. I'm assuming "Don't Panic" might
Don't
be.
Panic was one of the songs and they debuted it on the Supernova, which was a weird Supernova this year because it was all online, but it was still really cool because it was kind of all over the world all at once. And I basically pounded like on the boards. I'm like, play more monkey, and they finally played it, and it was like, oh my god, it was really cool. Because I was at Curtis's house, I'm like, I don't know if I can drink this much more beer, man. I can't play this thing now.
We've got a song that is kind of an instrumental, but it is 42 seconds long.
Oh.
And it's specifically about a scene. You know, when the planet is getting destroyed, or the planet gets destroyed, and then they find the mice, and the mice say, "Well, we built the supercomputer, and let's ask the supercomputer." And the supercomputer said, "Well, we've got the answer, but you're not going to like it." That's the theme of the song. We've got the answer.
What
planet
are you talking about that gets destroyed?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
Yeah.
This episode is going to make us all revisit Douglas Adams' books just to have a refresher after we watch it again.
Yeah.
And bring a towel, really.
Next album is going to be Holistic Detective Agency.
Right. Dirk Kendall. That's great. Well, that's the one thing about this whole thing, right? And the lockdown, it's really brought out so many things we weren't able to do, right? We wouldn't have had those Hepcat songs, right? I'm assuming if it wasn't for, we wouldn't have seen them.
They would have been out later on the record. But, you know, see what's cool about that process, what happened there was that, as you know, Hepcat was just not getting in the studio and getting it done. You know, it's like, hey, you guys, I got this guy that wants us to do this quick online video. You know, we could just do it come as you are. You don't have to dress up. You know, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's just kick it out. And I thought we were going to do like 5 songs. But Hepcat being Hepcat, one took like 4.5 months, and then the other one took like 5.5 months. And that was like, everybody was exhausted. So, but you know, it's hard to say if it would have come out without that on a record because of that Hepcat laziness, or that way was the best way to do it.
Yeah,
you know, who knows?
I mean, you got to spin it. You gotta make them want more. That's the Hepcat way. It's making them want more. It's not about being lazy.
Lazy here.
And as a fan, also, I want more. And when something comes out, you throw nuggets. I'm gonna grab them. You know.
You, sir, your new nickname is the Nugget Grabber.
Nugget grabbing.
Every nugget.
That's the thing.
Also, too, like I said, I thought we'd do like 5 songs. So we do have, you know, we have everything ready to go. We just gotta
go
do it. You know,
going in the same direction, right?
And so that's kind of blessing that we can pull from the lockdown, right, is that there were some more excuses that got knocked out of the way, right? You're not going anywhere. I know you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Also,
So
also
what are you doing?
when something like this happens, your creative side starts to go, how do I work within the confines of this new box, this very tiny box? And for some people, they live in a one-bedroom apartment, so that box is really tiny, right?
Yeah.
So how can you express yourself?
At the same time, speaking of expression, it's hard to not just make something every day that's like, comes up with stress.
Exactly, and that's
nobody wants to hear a ska song that's just fuck.
All the blow off valve sessions or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, I gotta get in my center and find that guy who was pre-COVID, minus all the angst and the frustration and the politics and everything else, and squeeze that out in a fine little gold vein and make it a song.
Well, if you squeeze it out in a nugget, Bosco will grab it.
I want to grab that nugget.
Yeah, can we get back around to the nugget and squeeze out that nugget?
Sure, for sure.
That's cool, man. I mean, that's the whole thing about it. Like what we were talking about yesterday was the Stay-at-Home Ska Collective and all the stuff that's come out because of COVID that would not, like, you wouldn't have people collaborating with people from back east, West Coast, Midwest, around the world as so, like, like almost forced to now. And that's what's creating all this new music and new content. And when Curtis says, it's a little square boxes, like where we're looking at each other right now, it's the same. This is the new normal. This is how you get 5 people, 6 people in a room. But we can do it all over the world now.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to be studio time. You don't need to be like, come to the garage. We got to lay these tracks. Here's my tapes. Here's my digital downloads. Take them, use them, make your own.
Basically, what you're saying is the excuses have been removed. Like, there are no excuses.
It's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. Still
Yeah.
waiting for the nuggets, though.
Those nuggets, bring them on. But with technology, it's just text me the GarageBand stems or whatever, and it's way easier than send me the tapes or text me the reels, which I was digging up for some old Go-Go 13 stuff. I was like, what am I gonna do with this?
Well,
thinking about that if it wasn't for the pandemic, I wouldn't have been thinking, what am I gonna do with it?
The hardest thing about it is the difference in everybody's home technology, their equipment. So, like, at first I was just recording straight off of this tablet, straight into it with the room, with the TV on or whatever. And then I started to realize everybody else is like really super clean. Yeah. Check out what they had. People had spent a lot of money getting like their home studio gear together. I am still the only one who has not.
I had a bunch of really nice mics, and I have a bunch of equipment, and I have all these computers that come with free recording software, but I never took the time to listen or to read into how to use it because I was too busy making music. Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm an ace. It's like bam, I can make stuff happen like crazy good. But now I can't actually go to a show and sell it to people because people only buy at shows, really, honestly.
Yeah.
Even if they don't buy physically with their money, they buy mentally and emotionally, and then they go buy it online. So either way, getting out there is key. We need to keep it in the public eye, and that's another reason why this kind of thing is good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's good to see all you guys.
Absolutely. Hey, as a side note, let's read some of the sidebar. It looks like Chris Rogers says, "Hey guys." Dustin Blad says, "Sup, PJ."
There's a sidebar.
And it's Skip from Go-Go 13.
Yeah. And Mida Goodwin from Central Valley says, Hepcat, Greg, Lee, yes.
Yeah.
Judd Irish Bradley, his photographer, says, what's up, kids? And Ben Barbara Gomez says, time for a live stream concert. She's asking for way more than I'm willing to do. We got Rudy Sermeno says, "Hey Chris." Wait, now he's chatting with people in the queue. Jeremy Burden says, "Can't wait for Tubaluth of Goon Holler."
Tubaloth, yeah, that's Goon Holler thing. Yeah.
Is it Loth or Luth? Because he wrote
Sloth,
it Luth.
like sloth.
Oh, Sloth. Okay.
Love you too, Pat.
Maybe just
Junior Scott on too.
nice. Brian Sisko says he's excited for that EP or album. He loved Douglas Adams' books. Yeah, Brian. Kind of a side note. When I was 19 years old, I was working at a coffee shop in Cupertino, and they came over and they posted a bunch of posters that said meet an author on Saturday, right? And so I went to meet the author. I didn't own any books at the time. I had just moved out of the house.
Is it all?
Well, whatever you have when you leave the house, you have a couple of like comic books and some magazines, right? You don't really have a library. So I was like, sure, I'm game. I'll go meet an author. So I met this author. I shook his hand. I got a book. He signed it. I took it home and immediately disappeared because one of my roommates stole it, right? Or sold it or whatever. It just disappeared into the ether. 20, 30 years later, I'm having a discussion about how awesome Douglas Adams is, and it hits me that he was the author that I saw before I knew anything about him. Before I knew anything, because I didn't actually read the book until at least 10 years later.
When he learned to read.
It just totally didn't hit me at all. But at some point, I did meet the author. It was really brief. It was on a Saturday afternoon, and he looked really worked over. That's all I remember.
He's gone now, man. Wow.
He is gone, but he left quite a legacy. Excellent.
And left such a legacy that Elon Musk shot his freaking car into the orbit as a tribute to Douglas Adams. That's right.
That's the amazing thing. Is like we're making music right now, right? A lot of us are making music here in this queue. In fact, all of us are in a way. And you don't know the impact of your music until someone grabs onto it and says, this is really special, this is important for something, a movie soundtrack or a retrospective or this or that. And then suddenly your music, you realize that your music hits so many people so hard. And the gravity of that is really intense. I felt it a couple of times with people like, I think in San Diego, some guy came up to us and said, hey, I've been listening to your song since I was born. And I'm like, that's cool. And he's like, no, I am 21 years old and I've been listening to your songs since I was born in the cradle. And I was like, oh man, how do you respond to that? How do you respond to that?
Curtis, it's another way too, is when people tell you their interpretation of what they thought the song was about.
Yeah.
I've had like dozens of interpretations of the same song, like Earthquake and Fire.
Yeah.
What's the one? Well, Can't Wait has a bunch, but Come Out.
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest ones. The interpretations that have been made on that song they're like coffee table book worthy.
You know what? You should write them down and then produce a Hepcat book of interpretation.
Oh boy.
I love that.
That'd be awesome.
It would be better if I had the wherewithal back early days, like write down each person's name and their interpretation so I could have it as a quote. Because it's really eye-opening when you realize, wow, I didn't mean that at all, but your interpretation is, I'll accept that. That's cool.
There's a guy in Southern California. He does like a podcast called like 18 Minutes of Ska or something like that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like 20 minutes of ska, 18 minutes, 15 minutes of ska, something like that. Anyway, I can't quite remember it off the top of my head. But he, someone's already buying that head, but he's already paying for it. He came up to me. He wanted to interview me for his podcast. And I was working on bikes in the backyard. I was like cranking on bikes, and I'm on a cell phone, like talking to him, and we were just doing a general interview. And he asked me to go into a couple of songs, and first of all, he didn't know all the lyrics. And then when I said the lyrics, he's like, what does that mean? And I told him what it actually meant. Every single lyric had a different like moment in my life that I showcased. And even though it sounds like they were just like a stream of words, it's like, no, these are actually all part of a moment. And it just blew his mind. He's like, I never thought that this song was that deep. And I'm like, well, you know, people write about what they feel, and that's what I felt at the time. So I've written songs that are stupid, and I've written songs that are just like, you know, man, you have to have like a Rosetta Stone to like, you know, to go through. What is he saying there? Okay, I get it.
Any artwork is interpretable, meaning that when you look at like visual artists, right? When you look at something, you go, wow, or God, that's horrible. Like the guy next to you has a completely different idea of wow, or that's horrible. You know what I mean? And you can be looking at Botticelli and just be like, yeah, I mean, it's cool, she's a redhead. But, you know, then other person's looking, like, when I looked at it, I'm like, my dad was trying to talk to me, and I'm like, shut up. I gotta, like, I'm in this experience right now. You know what I mean? Don't talk to me. And it's that same thing, you know what I mean? Every art is interpreted by every person in their own way. And going back to Earthquake and Fire, that should be the California official song, to be honest. Just to be, it should be California's
California, you have to listen to this, and you have to get
welcome to the Golden State. We got the Poppy. We got this thing over here. Then here's your Hepcat album.
I'm just surprised what kind of other interpretation you would get out of that song. I don't know. Trying to think.
Well, maybe that's what he's singing about, you know? It's Earthquake and Fire. This is the ideal place for a man like me. Come on.
But, you know, to your point about art, I mean, that really, you've described like my life path. Just, it's this idea that I can't be wrong. When I was in high school, I can get every math problem wrong, and it will be absolutely wrong. But when I was in art class, it was like, I'm right, you're wrong. I can tell my teacher she's wrong, and she's wrong because I'm right. And that objectivity, I think, is kind of why I'm a creative. You know, it's that artistic license.
No wrong answer to art. There really isn't. You can make anything you want. And we learn this from Frank Zappa. You can make anything you want. And the thing is, it doesn't matter whether or not people think it's good or not. There's somebody who can be like, I am touched by that. Like, really, honestly, there's something about that that just absolutely does it for me.
Well, look at John Lennon in his single line drawings of faces. It's just like, there's a face. Here you go. Next. And someone is like, that is everything to the world. That means everything to the world. It's expression. It's expression no matter what you do. It's just about getting that out to the people, whether the people get a chance to like feel that emotion.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Which brings us to the next point. How do we get the message out to the people?
Oh, there's just so many different ways, right?
Yeah.
Do what you can.
Do what you can.
I think right now, do what you can, yeah. And, you know, the old ways where we talk about this too, flyering, going to shows, stocking up record stores. But now it's all digital, and now it's all virtual. And, you know, it's unfortunate because, you know, everybody needs to make a living too. And, you know, when people say, hey, do this for the exposure, that's BS. You're an artist. You need to get paid. Like, you're not gonna draw something or put something out as art just because you want the exposure. You're not brand new. You're not 15 years old. So everybody needs to get paid for this. And honestly, to be able to monetize it and make it so it's worth on both ends, for the person to purchase it, for the artist to be able to receive something from it. That's that thin line that's really difficult to try to figure out right now, because everything's out there.
It's that thing, taking it away from being just a hobby.
Right.
You know, like, sure, I'll do everything for free, but I'll be working full time, and to do a thing will be much more difficult than it would if this is what I do.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
By the way, we got people in the thread that are calling for a tour of Hepcat, Monkey, and Go-Go 13 all together.
Okay.
That's how we're going to solve it. We're just going to go on tour all together, and the whole world's going to be like, God gave rock and roll to you.
We can pack it back in my Volkswagen van. We can just
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great to go out on tour and just wear hazmat suits the whole time? You know, like with our own little tank on the back. You don't affect anybody. Just go and you have a little microphone inside there. You know, like,
the weird bubble ones.
You know, this is great for those people that mumble into the microphones. What's it called? IRP or whatever.
Mumble rap. You talking about mumble
Yeah.
rap?
No, the where they talk really quietly and they whisper.
Or like a lot of
What do
AFI
they call that stuff?
early albums.
Yeah, Billie Eilish,
Eilish
like segment of society. We all put microphones in our mask and just kind of like go.
Carrots.
and you know what? I think the dance moves would look better too. You know, like in hazmat suits, you know, jumping all around. Maybe put like disco lights inside the
Oh man,
Absolutely. And with the mask,
video.
with the mask, you wouldn't even have to lip sync. You could just play the song and pretend like you're singing it.
you can put someone else in
No.
there and stay home.
In the spirit of Devo, you'd have to perform it.
Yeah,
If Devo did it,
Yeah.
you got to do it.
yeah, you're giving me a Aquabat flashback in the hazmat suit. Many a show.
That's true. That's very true.
Phenomenons did that stuff too, didn't they, Curtis?
Oh, they did.
Didn't they do?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually wanted to do the bunny suit thing for a while, and the guys never caught on to it. So we were like, whatever. And now it's like totally appropriate. I mean, if we did a tour in bunny suits, people would be like out in droves.
This is normal.
Like, you're like, maybe it was a better thing we didn't do that.
Yeah.
I had the same feeling. Like a long time ago, we were talking about doing the video for, I think it was Bobby and Joe, and we were bouncing back and forth between me and Jamie Stern from BYO. And I had this whole thing with like, I don't remember exactly anymore, but there was a bunny suit, you know, and there was going into a boat that actually was a giant studio. Some aspects of it stayed in between No Worries with Piper Ferguson and Jamie Stern. But initially, if we'd use all my ideas, I'd be like, oh, God, what was I thinking? The collaboration is good.
It seems so right at the time.
It did, you know, but it's a far better thing that we didn't do it.
It's actually good to have people to you know, throw the spaghetti against the wall to see if it sticks, you know.
Yeah.
Try to get some good ideas out, because even though
just a tiny bit, you don't want anybody to stifle your creativity, but the tiny bit of voice of reason to just go, hey dude, I get you and I understand you, but I think maybe we should reel it back a little bit from like the bunny suit. You know what I mean? But your vision is great. I'm just gonna say we can try it, but right now
I'm right there with you.
I'm right there with
you. Maybe you should put the joint down and let's talk about it.
back away from the bomb. Back away from the bomb.
Oh man.
Oh God, Kelly! One of our fans, Kelly Palki, is threatening violence to kick my butt live on Facebook if she can have you in concert again.
Who, Kelly? Oh, hi Kelly.
Hey Kelly. Hey Angie, greeting from Colombia, South
Nice.
America. Awesome. Love that.
Very good. Very good. Good. Hey, while we're here, this might be a good time to talk about links. Do you guys are you seeing the thread, the conversation thread?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm not. I can't see that. Is it? Can I?
Well, open up a separate window in Facebook and go to the link, and then mute the feed because it'll be your own voice talking back to you.
I know we
do
just
that.
Fourth wall here, and he's talking about technological stuff.
Totally. Old dudes in a room. Once you get that open, you can type into the feed just like everybody else.
Okay, awesome.
what I encourage you guys to do, while we got some people watching us, go ahead and just drop like a link of whatever you're doing. You know, like if there's a Hepcat store, drop the Hepcat store in there. If there's a Goon Holler store, drop it in there. Let's make some people happy.
Is there any Champions records available anymore?
I don't know. I know we had some. I have to ask Steph. I think Big Russ has some.
Okay. For two reasons. One, you can get yourself out there with the champion stuff, and two, I actually missed out on the San Jose EP you guys did.
Yeah, I believe Contra Records still has them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know.
Record from Contra. Contra's great.
Yeah, I can get CDs of, but yeah, the records. Yeah, I tried Contra.
Nice. You know, I played for the Champions for a little while with Alex here, and I can say that I unconfirmed, but there may be an entire album of music that was not released.
There is, and I've discussed trying to get that squared away with some changes, but yeah, no luck right now. But it's there. I have it. So I have it actually I think Jow had remastered it, so I have the original unmastered version.
Oh,
so,
sweet.
Yeah.
Raw tape, you can go through and change if you need, but I mean, that's
a
full album, like 12 songs?
Something, maybe a little less than that, maybe 10. But
that's an LP right there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So yeah, we have issues, with some of the change that were made on the newest master version. But I have I have all the Pro Tools files. So I have a hard drive.
I'd like to have that see the light of day. I think it'd be really cool. I think that band really had a really nice traditional sound. And it had a really neat kind of little punk rock progression to it too. You know what I mean? It's like that perfect mix. There you go, Greg. That perfect mix of that super traditional stuff, and then just enough, modernization to kind of bring it forward. And I'm gonna be proud of it. It's a San Jose band. You know what I mean? Like that's hometown stuff. You gotta love hometown stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that light of day for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to pull it out and give you guys a couple of copies. So
I'd be into it.
Nice. By the way, Francesca is one of our fans from jolly old England. She's in Salisbury, and she's watching right now, which means it's about 1:00 in the morning. So everybody say hi to Francesca.
Yeah, I know Francesca. How cool is that? She plays horn, doesn't she? She plays horn.
She plays trumpet. Yeah, she's a trumpet player. She's trying real hard. She's trying real hard to make it all happen. All of her dreams come true. Parker, you were talking about a link here. Do the Dog Music Band Camp page. What's up with that?
Kevin Fardu from Do the Dog. Oldest thing, and he was with the Bake Seeds, and his brother with special. And anyways, he put together a compilation to help them survive. Do the Dog Go compilation and go with it. We threw one of our tracks on. We were the last band. It's like 40 tracks or something like that. But might be a good shout out to them to buy that. I think it's a $10 donation, and
nice.
Help them stay alive and help Scott from jolly old England stay.
Yeah. I mean,
over there.
Everybody buy everything. Buy everything from every band you ever see. Everybody needs the money.
Buy everything. I like it.
Play with. Who does Francesca play with?
So what?
Who does Francesca play with? What's her band?
Oh, she's not in a band. She's going through some classical training right now, and she's trying to get her chops up and she's trying to get her bravado up to be able to join a band and to hit the road running.
Yeah.
It's super. nice, awesome person.
Super cool. And the cool thing is she can do it. We were talking to what was his name yesterday? I'm blowing it. Not Mida. No. In the Hold On Scott Collective.
Eric.
Eric. Yeah.
Eric.
Cool kid. And he says, I just started, and then I just started hitting people up and be like, let me play for your band. Let me play for your band. Let me play for your band. And now people are hitting him up saying, please play for my band. Please play for my band. Please play for my band. Which is super cool. I think, this is a perfect opportunity for the time for that to happen. Like, if you just get good enough to be able to, like, hey, look, you may not be the best, but, like, I'd like to be able to contribute if I can. And some people say yes, some people say no. That's okay. You know what I mean? You get a lot of no's and you get one yes. That one yes can turn into 2 yeses and 3 yeses. And all of a sudden, you're a wanted, you're a gun for hire, and
hey, I have to say here, Chris Rogers is saying, hi, I'm trying, hi. Chris, hello. Chris, if you guys know Chris, he has tattoos all over his body, and the tattoos are all your artwork.
Yeah.
Parker Jacob. Yeah. He's got tons of Aquabats tattoos all over his body, head to toe. He's a super fan, a mega fan.
That's amazing. He's such a great guy. Thanks for tuning in, Chris. I just think it's I feel sad when they do tattoos of my artwork because my artwork is usually like cross-eyed people with the napkins and stuff. Like, it's not really like. I'm not good. I'm just putting my stuff out there, and that's really what it's about. But thank you so much for the love and saying hi, Chris. It's so flattering. Oh, great! When you're like 70 years old, you're still gonna have like the Power Bookman or whatever, Magic Chicken.
I've got a cat right on my ankle. I mean, I'm not. I've got that. I've got Milo Ackerman on my other ankle. So I mean. It's people do it, it makes you happy. So
yeah, it does. Hey, great, but it's daunting being in my position, going, oh, that was good. Yeah. Maybe I should do that better. You gotta look at that forever.
The funny thing is one of our close friends, actually, I think of everybody in this room, Josh Coots from Las Vegas. He got a monkey tattoo, gigantic, on his forearm. I mean, it's like 5 inches by 5 inches. And I'm looking at that thing, and he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, I think that you're gonna have my dumb ass logo on your arm for the rest of your life.
That's my point right there. It's like great.
And he's like, hey, it was part of my culture, and I was like, I'm glad I'm part of your culture, but like, I don't know what to say about that. I'm like, that's crazy.
And hard to remember. You can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They liked it, but they liked it for a good reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tattoo for
excuse me. I've seen Hepcat tattoos too. I've seen the smoking cat, and then and then you see the two-tone, the Walt Jabsco and all that, and like it's got to be, as an artist though. And my question is, like, I know it's flattering, right? But I mean, and you kind of nailed it a little bit already. But like, it's not heavyweight. It's not like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose sleep over this. But like you put something out there that it's indelible. It is not going anywhere. And your artwork, I know you are. And in music, if it's a music logo or one of your pieces or whatever, but like, when you come across that in the wild, you just kind of like get the sweats a little bit, like, oh shit, that was me.
I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody with a Hepcat tattoo, and it was here in LA. It was Oliver Charles, the drummer from Ocean 11, and Ben Harper. Just had a beautiful baby. Congratulations, Ollie. But he had gotten a Hepcat tattoo way back when. The tattoo thing had just kind of kicked in with like the Rockabilly people and the Greaser people, but not really anybody else, So when he showed up with this Hepcat tattoo, we're like, it's on his body for the rest of his life,
Yeah.
We were freaked out. And now it's like, well, he was one of the first of many.
Yeah.
and you know, it's a total compliment to both Greg Narvis's artwork and, you know, to the band, the work
Absolutely.
we did. And I know what tattoos mean to people when people have Motorhead and shit, you know, it's like, it means a lot. So to be on, for someone to choose to put that for the rest of their lives is a big deal. I mean, I'm not a tattoo person myself, but Parker, I do need some good holiday swag. I've just been waiting because I love camping, you know. So like, you know, maybe some Goon Holler curtains from my camper.
Sure. What do you need? Yeah.
A sleeping bag.
All right,
You
we're
know,
in.
something.
Sure.
Fantastic. Fantastic. He's going to do his whole house.
Yeah.
We'll
You'll
say-
see. You'll see.
Panda here too. I don't know if you guys heard about that crazy idea. That was another
What was
COVID
that?
weird dumb idea. You ever hear Santa on a panda?
Santa on a panda. No, it sounds awesome.
On a
Awesome. Ah,
Well,
yeah.
there you go.
this was something that I put out for Christmas, and it kind of hit a little late. But oh yeah, he's a fan of.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Ah, better love it.
Nice.
But it's another ridiculous idea that came out of COVID was this doll magnet thing called Santa on a Panda, and I did it as a book. It's a song and a book, and I did vinyl that came with it. But
Show and tell time. Here we go.
we'll have to send you one for next Christmas.
That is great.
But we did peppermint vinyl.
Oh,
So,
nice. Oh, that
Wow.
is very awesome.
pepperminty, but like again, not really a ska song, but it's a straight. You'll recognize it. It's a straight homage to a little specials going in there. So I don't know. That's kind of fun. Again, 2020 products. It's like what? Here's a dumb idea that we're just going with.
Yeah, it's funny. The dumbest ideas are going like hotcakes right now because people are just like, entertain my brain for like 5 seconds.
So I said this before. I started out at the beginning of COVID with scooters, and I had my own hobbies and stuff. And I'm looking at I have old RC cars, 2 of them. I don't know if you can see back there. I got a couple of them. So I started out with the Wild Willie M38 Jeep, and I had a Futaba FX10. And as of a month ago, I've got 15 cars that are in various stages of build and completion, and it's beyond. I got so bad. I bought race cars from Japan that were pre-owned race cars from Japan because you can't get them anymore. That's how bad it got in COVID. So it's like
That's the one thing I've been seeing all over. People have been really doing the RC car thing.
oh yeah.
That's great.
I got this one.
It's indicative.
This one's cool.
I'm here, you're there. Right?
So this
Don't tell.
Whoa.
Don't tell.
This was actually a track car from Japan, and it's got a really hot motor in it. It's the I think it's the MO2 chassis, Tamiya, and it's completely beat. But I put this thing out, and I go on the street and I punch it, and it just gets so squirrely, almost undrivable. And it's but it's so awesome. I'm like, oh my god! You're like, I'll never own a Berlinetta 1000, but now I own one. You know what I mean? Like,
It's just a little small.
and the best part.
Nice.
The best part is whoever had it before me was racing on replica Ronald teddy bear wheels. So the teddy bear wheels you could get for your old Volkswagens in the 90s, somebody made them for RC cars.
Nice.
It's bananas.
Don't even sound
We speaking of weird things being mailed to each other, one of our ex players ordered a part for his Rhodes organ, Rhodes piano, and it was a little bracket to mount the leg into, right, little circular bracket. So this guy sends it to him in the mail, and it's literally just wrapped in butcher paper, like taped 1,000 times, and then like just scribbled his address on it. And so he opens it up, and here is the bracket, and right in the middle of the bracket in the circle is a half-smoked joint. And on the paper he wrote, "Enjoy."
Shared it with them. virtually
So cool.
in the mail.
Yeah, just right to the mail, just whatever. Incredible. But, Alex, what have you been buying that is not necessary during the COVID?
Nothing really. I mean,
No new bases, no.
Actually, yeah. We're speaking about being creative and trying to collaborate. I got myself a little Focusrite Scarlett interface, so I've been kind of tweaking with that. Yeah,
That's the two input, right? Interface.
Yeah, the 2i2. It's really cool. Just been trying to get learn the software and stuff to try to get some stuff down, collaborate. Me and Russ had talked about it, so it's actually pretty cool. So
Nice.
I enjoy it.
By the way, you guys hit me up. I'll throw a track, and I'll play whatever. I'll play whatever. I got 100 instruments here.
Yeah, Alex, didn't
I'll give you some.
you collaborate on something recently though? I mean, like within the last few months, didn't you guys, or were you going to put something out, or you live, or did something, right?
No, that was the last time Randy came through. We just kind of, he called me a lot. Hey, Randy's coming. So I went down to Nick's new studio, and we a couple other people showed up, Elias, and we just kind of threw some stuff together, and that's it for now. But we'd like to keep on working on it. So
Nice.
Nick has the new studio, or his studio back. It's sad that they had to tear the other one down, but what do you do?
Yeah.
Apartments are worth more than a studio. So.
San Jose
Yeah.
area, real estate, banana.
Absolutely.
But-
Well, at least the one thing that COVID has done is that some of the people have moved out of our area to cheaper areas because they realize that if you're going to work remote, why do I have to pay the exorbitant rent to live in the Bay Area? So what's happening is our rent is starting to ratchet down very slowly. In our area, it's coming down, but in the Bay Area, it's or in San Francisco, it's actually down a lot. It's down a lot.
And everybody goes, look, everybody's leaving California. See, it's super expensive. I'm like,
Bye. Bye.
Yeah.
Send a postcard.
I'd be more than happy for everybody to leave and turn it back to a nice, sleepy little area again. I'm telling you.
Nice.
I wish.
It seems like I live in LA.
That's Milo.
Everybody, there's one, get it.
That's Milo. He's camera shy.
He's a wild child. Good.
You did a little cameo though. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Here's Pink. He decided he wanted to go all pink, so.
I saw that. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, he's wearing a banana tank top with pink hair and Minecraft slippers. So yeah, he's rock and roll, man.
Very
Anybody
good.
else right now?
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that. It's got stocks on.
I mean, I got slippers.
Slippers.
There's my Milo right there. I got the Milo tattoo.
Shout out to Cherry, man. Some good.
Nice.
Some good
Hey,
stuff.
Parker.
Hmm.
I'm thinking of doing an episode that's just about artists, the artists behind
Sure.
music. Would you be interested in
Of
attending
course. You just ask me and I say yes. That's how it works.
that? All right.
Yeah, we get-
You're not right.
you know,
Parker, fetch me a beer. Parker, fetch me a turkey pot pie.
sir. Turkey pot pie, going right up.
He's all, you want it from scratch? I make it from scratch.
I'm just gonna jump off the goblet.
God, it's so great to see you guys again. It really is. It really is. It's, I mean, we always run into each other here and there, but usually it ain't happening now.
Lately,
for you.
It's rough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man,
Soon.
crazy.
Well,
Crazy.
Everything will snap back together, and we'll be out doing our thing.
Yeah.
That's,
I'm hoping
that's
I'm hoping that
Music, listening to music, going to shows, each other play music, having barbecues, having the kids running around. I mean, that's
Yeah, you know, it's good because it's like we let everybody. I think of it as a timeout. You know?
Yes.
Everybody gets a timeout, and they get to go on YouTube and go down the rabbit hole and look at videos of old shows, live performances, both like contemporary and going back into the past. Like for me, I keep realizing.
Yeah.
For me, I keep realizing like some of these old shows and watching them, how much I missed like going to a live show. But it's not just like a live show. It's like those creme de la creme shows. The first Fishbone show I ever went to. That's now running on YouTube. Right. I put up one B-52s doing rock lobsters. What, Parker? Where were you? Where were you? You and the B-52s should have been like that.
I know. I kind of watch it.
Especially when it comes to rock lobster, it's such a visual show. And you think about people's performances being like visual and telling a story, all the while keeping your energy level up and the adrenaline in the room. You feel all these things. That's very unique.
Yeah, very unique.
And I think when this all drops off, the expectation isn't just going to be like, hey, a couple of guys playing music on stage. I think everybody's going to really have to come with their best show. And I think that's, and I think, the musicians are going to be incentivized by
venues
and watching to come a little bit heavier.
For sure.
If there's venues, I hope there's venues. I mean, like, you were saying that, Greg, you know what I remembered? Got popped in my head is Hepcat at Slim's. You're never going to be able to play at Slim's anymore. And like, I mean, what an amazing venue that was. You know what I mean? And I saw Alex and the Champions that there was a back bar or whatever it was in Vegas. I think that place is gone.
Yeah.
And what are we? Where are we going to see I mean, I seriously will put anybody up in my front yard, plug everybody in, you play in our neighborhood if there's no more venues. You know what I mean?
But I mean,
we will. We'll get there.
Started, there was like, there were Fenders, there was different venues up north in the Bay Area that we played that aren't there anymore. Slim's kind of took over for. Places down here have constantly changed. We've gone from Fenders to the House of Blues to the Riverside places, to random. It's just, it's evolution, and we'll all, we'll go from being monkeys to bipedal human beings, just like.
Always up from the swamp, man.
You're using big words now. Bipedal.
Yeah, I'm so smart. But yeah, no, I'm serious. We'll evolve with it. There'll be things going on, and I'm sure a lot of venues people aren't going to like because they're not going to be suitable to what they believe is what they saw. But I mean, you guys still have in the Bay Area, you have the Great American, right?
Yeah, that's the Great American Music Hall.
Yeah,
that's still around.
Yeah, that's all the people is Slims. So you have the Great American. That I understand there's like 2 venues in Oakland now that we never got to play, but I'm sure we're gonna play them now.
Well, if they're still around, Slim's got changed. It got sold to a guy, and he's making it into a dance club called YOLO. YOLO.
Of course.
Of course.
It's like taking the Rose Ballroom and turning it into a polyesters. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, across the street back in the day was the Paradise. Paradise Ballroom?
I played.
That's still there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So nothing dies. We just moved to a different venue, and don't forget. But the cool thing about Slims and Fenders and all these things that are happening right now of clubs going away is these are our memories. In my mind, it's kind of like the same as like how Jim Morrison would reminisce about the whiskey. It's like, you can't go in my room anymore at the whiskey. In fact, you can't even go and see like a bona fide show there anymore. That's from my time. When you went there just on an off night and saw an incredible band from the Doors to freaking Frank Sinatra. You know, like it's encapsulated in a moment, and at least we have that. Slim's is now it's historic.
Yep. And the 924 Gilman is still here. Still here. Yeah, we played there so many times.
Woo, that place
so many times. It's a rough room.
That's an armpit right
there. Yeah. Our armpit. That's the thing. It's like when you were a kid, that's where you went. You just knocked out and some shitty bands. But the thing is they were great because they were your bands, or they were just contemporary. You know what I mean? Like 3-chord heroes. It just didn't do anything except for 3 chords. You know.
But I'm kind of glad I never lived to see the day where Fender's Ballroom in Long Beach was, Britney Spears or like any contemporary band. I'm glad I didn't live to see that. It was specifically there for us in this period, and the people before us who played in this period that made it historic. And then okay, that's enough. Plug.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way with CBGBs. We tried so hard to get the CBGBs, and we finally got. Say what? Yeah. Exactly. But we actually got accepted for the last Wednesday that they were open, and we went there. We played. Our set was at 4 p.m, and the house was packed to the gills because it was the last week and people knew that this was important. Yeah. And just to play to that crowd who doesn't know who you are and they don't care, but there's an electricity in the room. That's magic. And every time I see a CBGB retrospective, I'm like, that is it's part in you.
Hilly was man. He put this thing together that was just so interesting, and the stuff that came through there, like Greg was saying, it's just a timestamp. You cannot replicate a CBGB's.
Yeah,
you can't.
You would.
Well, it's not legal.
On the East Coast, there was Wetlands.
Mm-hmm.
That place is historic as far as East Coast people going back to ska for years. And imagine if it just continued to live. Like K-pop bands. If one of us went into any of these places and saw like a contemporary pop band thing in it, it would just ruin the place forever.
Yeah.
In my mind, all we'd be saying is, I remember it. But
listen, we become the get off my lawn generation. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be cool.
Not me, man. I tell people to get on my lawn. I like kids playing and stuff.
Yeah, when this is over, we're going to be the get on my lawn generation. Could you stand right here? I give you a hug.
Come on my lawn. I got some
awkward hugs, sweaty hugs.
What's up with touchy feely?
Touchy feely
boomer.
Hey kid, I see you on my lawn.
Baby.
God damn,
awesome.
off my lawn.
Say what?
I'm just messing up.
Get a real big
awesome. Nice. Well, hey guys, we're over the hour, so we can keep chatting if you want to, or we can hang up and say our goodbyes, whatever you want. But I do encourage you, if you have a link to share, Hepcat.com or I don't know what URL you're using these days. Nothing. That just at nights, look into the sunset and know that Greg is somewhere in that direction.
Man,
superimpose my face over the moon. I'm
Awesome. Yeah, and geez, it's been a real honor and a great time to chat with you guys because I miss you. I want to see your damn face again. And
I do feel honored too. I'm in a room full of legends, which is making me feel like, man, I've played all your music. I've seen all your artwork. I mean, it's great. This is fantastic. This is it's always nice to be able to be friends with guys and gals that are some people that inspire you, and I'm really honored to be here.
And anybody who's watching this, if you're in a band, reach out to me. We'll get you on the show. If you're a musician, if you're out there and you're thinking about what should I do, start your own podcast. Do this. It's fun. It's stupid. You help your friends, talk about nothing. See if anybody shows up in the room. And if they don't, repost it so people can make fun of it at a later date.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Well, we got Alex from the Champions. We got Parker from GoGo 13 and all of his great art. We got Greg from Hepcat. We got Bosco from San Jose, and we got Curtis from the band Monkey. Hello. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Follow the rules. It gets us out of this quicker. And then we can all party together.
Thank you,
And you can step on my lawn anytime you want. All right.